Hello everyone. Welcome to the Sleep and Learn channel. Tonight, we invite you to gently relax and travel back millions of years into the ancient world of dinosaurs. In this calm and peaceful journey, you'll discover fascinating dinosaur facts, quiet prehistoric landscapes, and the slow rhythms of a world long before humans existed. Let your mind unwind, your thoughts slow down, and allow these soothing stories to guide you into a deep and restful sleep. The ancient world of dinosaurs, a calm beginning. Long before humans walked across forests, built cities, or sailed the oceans, the Earth was home to a remarkable and fascinating group of animals known as dinosaurs. These ancient creatures lived during a vast period of time called the Mesozoic era, which began about 252 million years ago and lasted for more than 180 million years. To put this into perspective, dinosaurs lived on Earth far longer than humans have existed. Their story is not only one of size and strength, but also of diversity, adaptation, and the quiet rhythms of an ancient planet. The first dinosaurs appeared during the Triassic period, a time when the continents were joined together in one enormous landmass called Pangaea. The climate in many regions was warm and dry, with large deserts and seasonal rains. Early dinosaurs were relatively small compared to the giant creatures many people imagine today. Some were no larger than modern dogs or deer, moving quickly through the landscape on two legs. These early dinosaurs were light, agile, and well adapted to survive in a world full of other reptiles and ancient animals. Over millions of years, dinosaurs slowly diversified and spread across the planet. As the continents gradually drifted apart, different species evolved in different regions. During the Jurassic period, dinosaurs became more numerous and varied. This was the age when some of the most iconic dinosaurs appeared. Long-necked herbivores wandered through lush forests of ferns and conifers, while graceful predators moved quietly through the ancient landscapes. The Earth during the time of dinosaurs was very different from the world we know today. Flowering plants had not yet become common, and instead vast forests of ferns, cycads, and towering conifer trees covered the land. Rivers flowed slowly through these green environments, and the air was often warm and humid. In such environments, dinosaurs lived their lives in ways that were often surprisingly peaceful. Many herbivorous dinosaurs spent their days calmly grazing on vegetation, much like modern elephants or giraffes do today. One of the most interesting aspects of dinosaurs is the incredible variety of shapes and sizes they developed. Some dinosaurs were enormous, stretching more than 30 meters in length, while others were small enough to perch in trees or hide among dense plants. Some walked on two legs, others on four. Some had horns, plates, or crests that may have been used for communication or display rather than combat. These features remind scientists that dinosaurs were not simply giant monsters, but complex animals with behaviors that are still being studied today. Fossils provide the quiet clues that allow scientists to understand this ancient world. When a dinosaur died, sometimes its bones were slowly buried by sand, mud, or volcanic ash. Over millions of years, these remains hardened into stone, preserving a record of life from a distant past. Today, paleontologists carefully study these fossils to reconstruct the lives of animals that disappeared long ago. Interestingly, the descendants of dinosaurs are still around us today. Modern birds evolved from small feathered dinosaurs that lived during the later part of the Mesozoic era. When we watch birds flying across the sky or resting quietly on a tree branch, we are actually seeing distant relatives of the ancient dinosaurs. Thinking about dinosaurs can feel surprisingly calming. Their world existed on timescales far beyond human experience. Forests grew, rivers shifted, mountains rose and eroded, and through it all dinosaurs quietly lived their lives for millions upon millions of years. Their story reminds us that Earth has always been a place of change, patience, and deep natural history. the feathered dinosaurs, and the birth of birds. For many decades, dinosaurs were imagined as large reptiles covered in rough scales, similar to giant lizards. However, one of the most fascinating discoveries in modern paleontology has completely transformed this image. Scientists now know that many dinosaurs, especially smaller species, were covered in feathers. This discovery has revealed an extraordinary connection between the ancient world of dinosaurs and the birds that fly through our skies today. The first clues appeared in the late 20th century when beautifully preserved fossils were discovered in northeastern China. In fine layers of ancient volcanic ash and lake sediments, paleontologists found dinosaurs whose bodies were surrounded by delicate impressions of feathers. These fossils showed that feathers were not rare or unusual. Instead, they were surprisingly common among many groups of small theropod dinosaurs. One of the most famous of these discoveries is Archaeopteryx, a creature that lived around 150 million years ago during the late Jurassic period. Archaeopteryx possessed a unique combination of features. It had wings and feathers similar to modern birds, but it also had teeth, a long bony tail, and clawed fingers on its wings, features typical of dinosaurs. Because of this combination, Archaeopteryx is often described as one of the earliest known birds and an important evolutionary link between dinosaurs and modern avian life. Feathers themselves likely evolved long before flight appeared. Scientists believe that the earliest feathers may have developed for insulation, helping small dinosaurs maintain stable body temperatures. Over time, feathers also became useful for display, camouflage, and communication. Some dinosaurs may have used bright feather patterns to attract mates or signal to rivals, much like many modern birds do today. As millions of years passed, certain dinosaur species gradually developed more advanced feathers and lighter skeletons. Their arms became longer, and their feathers became more specialized for gliding and eventually for powered flight. These evolutionary changes slowly transformed some feathered dinosaurs into the first true birds. Interestingly, modern birds still retain many features inherited from their dinosaur ancestors. Their skeletons, lungs, and even the structure of their feet reveal deep evolutionary connections to theropod dinosaurs. When scientists compare the bones of birds with those of small predatory dinosaurs, the similarities are striking. Today, when we watch a bird glide through the air or rest quietly on a branch, we are witnessing the continuation of a story that began more than 150 million years ago. Birds are not simply related to dinosaurs, they are the living descendants of them. In a sense, dinosaurs never truly disappeared. Instead, they transformed and adapted into the incredible diversity of bird species that exist around the world today. This realization brings a peaceful perspective to the history of life on Earth. The ancient forests that once echoed with the footsteps of dinosaurs have long vanished, yet their legacy still fills the skies. Every bird in flight carries with it a small piece of the prehistoric past. The quiet intelligence of dinosaur predators. When many people imagine dinosaurs, they often picture powerful predators chasing prey across prehistoric landscapes. While some dinosaurs were indeed hunters, their lives were not always filled with constant action. Like modern predators such as lions, wolves, or birds of prey, many carnivorous dinosaurs likely spent long periods resting, observing, and patiently waiting for the right moment to hunt. In many ways, their lives followed a calm and natural rhythm that was shaped by the balance of ancient ecosystems. Among the most well-known predators of the dinosaur world were the theropods, a group of dinosaurs that walked on two legs and often had sharp teeth and strong claws. This group included famous species such as Allosaurus, Velociraptor, and later the massive Tyrannosaurus rex. Despite their reputation as fearsome hunters, these animals were not constantly chasing prey. Hunting requires enormous energy, and most predators must conserve that energy carefully. Fossil evidence suggests that many predatory dinosaurs were surprisingly intelligent for reptiles. Their brains, particularly the regions related to vision and coordination, were relatively well developed. This may have helped them track movement, navigate complex environments, and interact with other members of their species. In some cases, scientists believe certain dinosaurs may have hunted in small groups or at least tolerated the presence of others while feeding. One fascinating discovery that has changed our understanding of predatory dinosaurs is the evidence of feathers. Many smaller theropods had feather-like structures covering their bodies. These feathers were not originally used for flight but likely helped with insulation, display, and communication. Some dinosaurs may have used bright feather patterns to signal to others of their kind, much like modern birds do today. Dinosaurs such as Velociraptor were not enormous monsters as they are sometimes portrayed in movies. In reality, Velociraptor was about the size of a large turkey. It had a lightweight body, a long balancing tail, and a curved claw on each foot that may have helped it capture prey. These smaller predators probably relied more on agility and awareness than brute strength. Even the most famous predator, Tyrannosaurus rex, may have spent much of its life moving slowly through its environment rather than constantly running. With a body weighing several tons, rapid movement would have required great effort. Some scientists believe that Tyrannosaurus may have combined hunting with scavenging, using its powerful sense of smell to locate food across large distances. The presence of predators was essential for maintaining balance within prehistoric ecosystems. By hunting herbivores, carnivorous dinosaurs helped regulate populations and ensured that plant-eating species did not overgraze their environments. This natural balance allowed forests, rivers, and plains to remain stable for millions of years. When we imagine the prehistoric world, it can be easy to focus only on dramatic moments. But in reality, much of the dinosaur world was quiet. Predators rested beneath ancient trees, watched the movement of distant herds, and waited patiently in the warm sunlight. Their lives were shaped by patience, awareness, and the steady rhythms of nature. The family life of dinosaurs. When we imagine dinosaurs, we often think of enormous creatures wandering through ancient forests or powerful predators roaming across prehistoric plains. Yet one of the most fascinating discoveries made by paleontologists is that many dinosaurs likely had surprisingly complex family lives. Fossils discovered over the past several decades suggest that dinosaurs may have cared for their eggs, protected their young, and even lived together in social groups. One of the most important clues comes from the discovery of dinosaur nests. Around the world, scientists have found fossilized nesting grounds where dinosaurs once laid their eggs millions of years ago. These nests are often arranged in patterns that suggest careful placement rather than random scattering. Some nesting sites contain dozens or even hundreds of nests close together, which may indicate that certain dinosaurs gathered in large colonies to reproduce, much like many birds do today. A famous example of dinosaur parental care comes from a dinosaur called Maiasaura, whose name means good mother lizard. Fossils of Maiasaura nests were discovered in North America, and they revealed remarkable evidence that adult dinosaurs may have returned regularly to their nests. The nests contained eggs, hatchlings, and slightly older young that appeared to remain in the nest for some time after hatching. This suggests that the parents may have brought food and protected their offspring as they grew stronger. The eggs themselves were surprisingly varied in shape and size. Some dinosaur eggs were small and round, while others were elongated and larger than a human hand. These eggs were often buried in warm soil, sand, or plant material that could help regulate temperature during incubation. In some cases, scientists have even found fossilized embryos preserved inside dinosaur eggs, offering rare glimpses into the earliest stages of dinosaur life. Recent discoveries have also shown that some dinosaurs may have sat directly on their nests, using their body heat to incubate their eggs. Fossils of certain feathered dinosaurs have been found in positions that resemble modern birds brooding their nests. Their wings were spread protectively over the eggs, suggesting that feathers may have helped maintain a stable temperature during incubation. As the young dinosaurs hatched, they likely entered a world full of challenges. Smaller dinosaurs may have grown quickly in order to survive in environments shared with larger animals and predators. Living in groups could have offered protection, allowing adults to watch for danger while the younger members of the herd stayed close together. Some fossil trackways even suggest that groups of dinosaurs traveled together across ancient landscapes. The footprints of large adults appear alongside those of smaller juveniles, indicating that families may have migrated together in search of food and safer environments. These discoveries help reveal a softer and more peaceful side of the dinosaur world. Rather than living as solitary giants, many dinosaurs may have shared their lives with others of their kind, protecting their young, nesting in colonies, and moving together across vast prehistoric landscapes. When we imagine these scenes, the ancient world begins to feel more familiar. Just like animals today, dinosaurs were part of communities shaped by care, cooperation, and the quiet rhythms of family life. The quiet end of the dinosaur age and their living legacy. For more than 160 million years, dinosaurs were the dominant animals on land. They lived through enormous changes in climate, shifting continents, rising mountains, and evolving ecosystems. For a period of time far longer than humans have existed, dinosaurs quietly shaped the natural world. Yet eventually, their age came to an end in one of the most remarkable turning points in Earth's history. Around 66 million years ago, at the boundary between the Cretaceous period and the Paleogene period, a major global event dramatically changed life on Earth. Scientists believe that a large asteroid struck our planet near what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact released enormous amounts of energy, sending dust and particles high into the atmosphere. For a time, sunlight reaching the surface of the Earth was reduced. Plants struggled to grow, and many ecosystems slowly collapsed. As food chains were disrupted, many species disappeared. This event is often called the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, and it marked the end of the age of non-avian dinosaurs. However, the story of dinosaurs did not end completely. While many large dinosaurs disappeared, some small feathered species survived. These animals had characteristics that helped them endure changing environments. Over time, they continued evolving and eventually gave rise to the birds that fill our skies today. In this sense, dinosaurs never truly vanished. They simply transformed. Every sparrow, eagle, owl, and hummingbird is part of a long evolutionary story that began during the age of dinosaurs. Birds carry many of the same skeletal features, respiratory systems, and behaviors that once belonged to their prehistoric ancestors. The fossil record reminds us that Earth's history moves slowly across immense spans of time. The rocks beneath our feet preserve traces of ancient forests, rivers, and creatures that lived millions of years ago. Each fossil discovery helps scientists understand how life adapts, evolves, and continues in new forms. Thinking about dinosaurs can bring a quiet sense of wonder. These animals lived through vast ages of Earth's history, wandering across continents that looked very different from the world we know today. Their lives unfolded over millions of years in forests, plains, deserts, and wetlands that no longer exist. And yet their presence has never truly disappeared. When a bird glides silently across the sky or sings in the early morning light, it carries with it the distant echo of the prehistoric past. The story of dinosaurs continues all around us, hidden in the feathers and wings of the animals we see every day. The age of dinosaurs may have ended long ago, but their legacy remains one of the most fascinating chapters in the history of life on Earth. Their story reminds us that nature is always changing, always adapting, and always continuing its quiet journey through time. The gentle giants of the prehistoric world. Among the many creatures that lived during the age of dinosaurs, some of the most remarkable were the enormous plant-eating dinosaurs known as sauropods. These animals were the true giants of the prehistoric world. With long necks, massive bodies, and powerful legs, sauropods could reach lengths of more than 30 meters and weigh as much as several modern elephants combined. Despite their extraordinary size, these dinosaurs lived calm and peaceful lives, spending most of their time slowly moving through ancient landscapes in search of plants. One of the most famous sauropods is Brachiosaurus, a dinosaur easily recognized by its incredibly long neck and front legs that were slightly longer than its back legs. This body shape allowed Brachiosaurus to reach high into the treetops, feeding on leaves that many other animals could not access. In a way, it lived like a gigantic prehistoric giraffe, calmly browsing among the tall conifer trees and ancient forests that covered much of the Earth during the Jurassic period. Another well-known giant was Diplodocus, which had a very long, whip-like tail and a slender body. Unlike Brachiosaurus, Diplodocus likely fed on lower vegetation, sweeping its long neck from side to side to gather ferns and soft plants growing close to the ground. Fossil evidence suggests that herds of these animals may have moved slowly across vast plains and river valleys, grazing together in peaceful groups. Life for these enormous herbivores was often surprisingly quiet. Instead of hunting or chasing prey, sauropods spent most of their day feeding. Scientists estimate that large dinosaurs may have needed hundreds of kilograms of vegetation every day to support their massive bodies. Because plants were abundant in the warm climates of the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods, these giants could slowly wander across forests and wetlands while constantly feeding. Their long necks were one of the most elegant adaptations in the history of life on Earth. With dozens of elongated vertebrae, sauropods could reach plants across a wide area without needing to move their heavy bodies very often. This simple adaptation likely helped them conserve energy while feeding efficiently in dense prehistoric forests. Despite their enormous size, many scientists believe that sauropods were gentle animals that rarely needed to defend themselves aggressively. Their sheer size alone would have discouraged most predators. Some species also traveled in groups, which may have offered additional protection for younger or smaller individuals within the herd. The world these dinosaurs inhabited was filled with calm natural rhythms. Rivers slowly carved their paths through forests, ancient trees grew for centuries, and vast herds of herbivorous dinosaurs quietly migrated across the land in search of fresh vegetation. Their movements may have even shaped entire ecosystems, helping spread seeds and creating open spaces in forests where new plants could grow. One particularly fascinating discovery made by paleontologists is the presence of dinosaur trackways, long trails of fossilized footprints preserved in ancient rock. Some of these tracks show groups of sauropods walking together across muddy ground millions of years ago. The footprints reveal patterns that suggest adults walking alongside smaller juveniles, hinting at social behavior and the possibility of herd structures similar to those seen in modern elephants. Imagining these giant animals slowly moving across green prehistoric landscapes can feel surprisingly peaceful. Rather than constant conflict, much of the dinosaur world was filled with quiet activity, feeding, traveling, and living within the steady rhythms of nature.